Okay. I do a DM tribute route. I do characters in Classic. I do it from the Warriors Brandby. It's a little more interesting than the Druids. That's really all the Druid does is just heal. Really boring from our point of view. Yeah, this is the tribute run I do twice a week for my set of buffs. Sometimes I buy the buffs, but this is kind of enjoyable enough. Now, one thing you need for tribute runs, or there's a few things you need rather. These are the mats for the ogre suit. This is the mats for the trap for the third guard, and this is the item to open the last door. Cars engineering, you can get past it with just like a rogue picklock or a true silver key with a blacksmith. Because the only other way to get that key is the kill one of the cards, which is what you don't want to do in a tribute run. I'm going to swap some gear to go a little faster through this. Oh. One thing I've learned is that there's a roamer path that comes right through here. And it should be coming soon. Maybe. Oh yeah, there it is. Ooh, I'm a little quick today. Got through this a little faster than normal. Usually it would be about here when I'm halfway through killing this pole. But right now I'm just gonna... Shouldn't aggro it from... Maybe I might aggro it from right here. Let's see. Nope. The ledge back there is a evade spot anyway, so if I do get aggro, it's not too big a deal. But yeah, with this type of tribute run, with these two characters, I'm actually like killing a good chunk of the mobs, as opposed to a hunter who was can do. I saw one of the speedruns a hunter did. They did 7 minutes flat or something like that. But they skipped so many mobs. It's a sweet run though, just to see like what people are capable of. One thing I do have to kind of somewhat pay attention to is aggro on mobs. Even though my druid's only doing healing for the most part. Should avoid that pack. There's a lot of roamer packs in this setup, in this first 2 sets of parts of the dungeon, so you kind of just have to be kind of wary. You start to see the patterns, but you don't always kill these mobs the same. Speed. Alright, I'm gonna wait a sec for this pack to get up so I can kill this pack by itself. Another way to get through this is through the right side here. But honestly, these mages are real. They're a pretty annoying mob. They're similar to the warlocks in the back.
I'm out of range.
Yeah, hell. definitely sometimes I wish I made my second character a shaman instead of druid, but the druid has a lot of other benefits. Ooh, that crit heal. That felt pretty good. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about between regrowth and rejuve. Get kind of lazy with the healing. Like I barely touch my druid sometimes when I'm doing these runs. This brute is a roamer, but he comes single, so just kill him real quick. Could potentially skip him, but it just takes too long. See, we got another brute roamer right there. Okay, we got a roamer pack there. I don't know where the guard is. The guard's like roam path is insanely long. But I need to get a key from this chest to open this door. I think you can use the C4 charge to break this, but the key's right here, so no point wasting the mats for it, because these take solid stone, and solid stone's a little on the expensive side. It's not super expensive, but you know, it's still like 30, 40 silver a pop, and it takes 4 solid stone to make one of these. So, a little over gold to make one of those charges. Just come in this corner, get this pack of mobs real quick. There's the guard. I guess I can mark them real quick. Get my roamer pack. Pull this pack here too. Just really easy to aggro them. Just okay. Let's see. Guard's right there, so I have to wait a little bit here. I finally got a rejuve gem on my druid. Holy god, this thing is insane. Between this and the Mind Tap Talisman, like I barely have to drink with her anymore. At least during these runs. I mean, that guard's going to go through the bug patrol, so clear to pull these. Obviously, these pulls in the front are like old, a monster metal, like so much easier compared to the mobs in the back. As I say that, as these pack of mobs almost moving up pretty low. So the thing about 2-boxing, I thought I had a heal queued up with my druid, and then I look up back over, and I'm like, oh, my warriors, yeah, either blow NS or last stand, and like, probably should have blown NS but instead of last stand. Yeah, that's like, I don't run any automated programs or anything to like have her do anything. I have to switch between screens, and I have 2 monitors, so it's not as hard, but that's the things that, you know, that's a lot of the reason why I end up dying a lot when I do some of these runs or other farms like DM East. It's like, alright, warrior's getting low, queue up a heal. 3 seconds later, it's like, oh wait, oh god, the heal's not going. And then, you know, panic mode. I'm gonna pull him. I could probably skip him, but pull him real quick. Pull him back too, actually, because I swear I've had the guard aggro sometimes without realizing it from like in this corner. Either being too far out without realizing it. Yeah, one of the benefits of having a druid, you get thorns, and thorns is a surprising amount of damage between the balanced talents and druid tier 1 hits for 39, I think it is, per hit. And you know, all that damage adds up, especially on the like the multiple mod packs. Alright, I don't know where the guard is. Should be fine. Like, it's incredibly... trying to think of the wording. It's really easy to avoid the second guard. Obviously the first guard is easy, just stands in like a corner, or that first down the pit in that one first area, but... Okay, now it's to these warlocks and reavers. These are the really hard mobs of this run. I'll take a sec here. Make sure I get aggro and everything. Kill these Doomguard minions, they're really easy to kill, but yep, the Reaper's Mortal Strike, which is really rough. They don't do an entire ton of damage, but they are really spiky between their auto attacks cleaving. Yep. Another thing about holding aggro is I have to make sure the warrior holds aggro, especially on these warlocks, because the warlocks will banish the warrior, and they'll obviously go toward the druid. So that's, you know, very problematic. I also have to keep the druid way in the back at a range, or sometimes they'll banish your druid. And if I'm not keen on that, I will miss the pummel, and then it's like, alright, my warrior didn't have any healing for X amount of time. The banish is like 15 seconds too, so I believe it's 15 seconds, I'm not 100%. So one thing I was watching for, there's an eye that hats up here. I was watching the whole time with my warrior. So make sure to kill it, because those mobs, the void spawns it, summons are just, if you're not expecting them, they've killed me quite a lot. Just because I'm not paying attention. There it is. And it's very nice. Druid can just double tap with the Moonfire, kill it real quick. And there's two eyes. The other one doesn't spawns up by the third guard. Alright. But yeah, this is a lot of these bowls. And the Shadow Blood's hitting for, you know, 800-900. These guys. Pulled aggro. Come on, what the fuck? I can fear here. I have to... This is me improvising right now. Try to LS the Warlock to get... Bash that. Yeah, that's just something random you have to kind of adjust for. I'm gonna move the druid a little bit. Make sure she's not in range of stupid fucking banish. I'm gonna wait for MS to fall off before I heal, since I'm not in risk of dying, I don't think. Yeah, the Reaver's also Sunder, and yeah, 2 stacks of Sunder getting rid of almost 30,000 armor. It's pretty rough. Because, yeah, once they get the Sunder up to 3 stacks, that's about when they start actually hitting. Their like auto attacks hit fairly hard. At least not my warrior. Even with me, I'm still in a lot of play here. Alright, one bug pack. You know, this is where I really wish I was still arms or super strength, but this axe spine order from Morag, the proc is actually kind of nice. Check, make sure that Thorling doesn't. Alright, we got the cloud burst, but this is a part where I like parking the druid for this next pull. Alright, so this is where I park my druid for this next pull, and LS here, and that is just enough range for them to not banish her, and, you know, to still be in range of heals. I'm just kind of trying to figure out where the guard is, and the second eye pats up to here. I am probably good to pull this. LS here. Now this is a double warlock pack, so you know, nice thing about the double warlock packs is you don't have to deal with MS. Guard. Ooh, it was a little tight on that heal. Okay, part of the reason why I pulled this pack is they aggro in range of this trap. At least, maybe I should see if they won't aggro if you like try to pop this trap. Like, how? Alright, the guards coming. We'll chill back for a second. So, yeah, it's a little bit of waiting time in this run, but it's not too bad. Yeah, you might be able to pop this trap and not be in range to aggro these, but I haven't tried. So the guard's going up, but I still have to worry about that eye where it is. It's right there. So I'm going to take a sec to move the druid around to just moonfire it. And try to make sure I moonfire at the end of this pack. Because you can social these warlocks over here if you aggro the eye like here-ish. I believe. I'm not 100% actually. I'm gonna just wait for the guard to get frozen. I've done this run without freezing the guard. It's possible. It's just a pain in the ass. Like, just honestly, it's just really hard because I have to pull and kill a lot of these mobs. And like, alright, it's like I have to wait for him to get to the end of his pack, pull the pack of mobs back, and it's just like it takes like an extra like it took me at least the one time I've done it. I think it took me an extra like 20 minutes to do this run, and it's just not worth it at that point. Like I know that takes a thorium widget and a frost oil. You know, thorium widgets aren't too expensive, but the frost oil is like 3.5 gold. Alright, this is our first double reaver pack. I think this is... Oh no, there's one other double reaver pack, but they will stack Sunder Armor pretty quickly, two of them. But, yeah, like, you know, oh shit, I actually pulled aggro on my druid. Wasn't expecting that. I put some melee, a couple rounds of melee attacks in the Sunder, I thought. But my druid also doesn't have any talent points into a third reduction, so like kill aggro does happen. Something I always have to be conscious of. Just come over here, we have double warlock pull here. This is about where I keep the druid for this pull. Druid's pretty good mana. Make sure to put a little bit of aggro into everything here. Or at least the two warlocks. Kill the minions real quick. Make sure that'll shut up. Not the best at that. Put Sunder in him, Sunder in him. Yeah, those Doom Guards, they don't really do a lot of damage, but they also don't have a lot of health. But they also cripple, so and that slows down the process of the run quite a lot. It's weird. I could have swore I remember those Doom Guards casting War Stomp back in vanilla. They don't seem to here, which is honestly really nice because that War Stomp could be make this run so much harder to cast that. Like first like 10 seconds of each of these pulls, I have to make sure I'm getting threat on everything so the druid doesn't randomly pull. And you know, this chain of events like druid pulls, warrior gets banished by the warlock, or something, vice versa. Ooh, I shouldn't have charged that. Actually, no, that's fine. I'm gonna intercept here. Get some aggro on the warlock. Druid's down there healing. I hat. I think it's a little... The Warlocks have a lot less armor than the Reavers, so it's a little easier to kill. The GG ones I kill first, and these 2 packs after the Doomguard. Maybe it's correct to kill the Reavers first, but just because of the EMS, and I think they have, it feels like they have higher burst damage. It's just the Warlock's a little more consistent with the burst, I guess, maybe. Alright. Druid's actually a little on the low side, so I'm gonna take a second to drink here. Park the Druid here for this pull. This is another double Warlock pull. This one's a little rough, just because the back Warlock is a little further back. So I have to, get in range to usually pummel him, try to get him a little closer. I have to be a little wary of his placement, or his movement, to not aggro this pack. It's pretty rare to aggro this pack, but I've had it happen. I've done this run, I do this run like usually twice a week, and I've been doing it for the last, I don't know how long now. Probably like 4 or 5 months. Alright, Thorns. A little macro set for my Druid to swap out to 3-piece tier 1 Thorns, and then another macro to swap back to her tier 2 set. Cast him away. Put a little more aggro on him. That's not good. Wait, no, I think the Druid's just in range. I don't think she pulled that. Back a little bit. I got that pulled down pretty well, but it's just that first 10 seconds of that pull is making sure to pull aggro. Try to pull this one back. Because if kind of leave that one back there and try to move up to it, sometimes the Druid can get in range of the first front Warlock and get banished, which is bad. Like if I don't have full hots rolling on the warrior, if the Druid gets banished, like I have to pop cooldowns or fear, which you can't really fear right here. You'll pull this pack. We're off the pull here. It's a lot of these pulls. This part of the dungeon is really boring. Right. Pulling aggro. I didn't put enough aggro into the Reaver. Pull that. funny thing about the Warlocks, they have 2 schools of magic, so if you pummel one, they usually cast the other one right away. But it is just only Shadow Bolt and Emulate, so should probably be pummeling those a little bit more. And I just realized I didn't get the Ogre suit, even though I have the Tannin. I'm going to do that real quick. Move the Druid up for the next pull, so talk to this Goblin down here. He gives the Tannin Ogre suit. He also has another quest if you get a Shackle Key, which you can drop from any of the Ogres. I think it has a higher chance of dropping the guards, but you can use that key to free him, and he'll drop a little stash, which has a lot of tailoring mats and a lot of skinning mats, and then we'll have like 1 recipe usually, and that box is where you get the recipe for Heart of the Wild, which is a really good cloak that my druid has. I got the mats and I had someone else make them. Really solid healing cloak. Show it real quick. Hide of the Wild, not Heart of the Wild. Heart of the Wild's an item. Hide of the Wild. So 42 healing. It's about, I think that's the most healing you can get right now from any cloak. The funny thing is, I almost want to make one of those cloaks for my warrior's healing set, but it's only 9 more healing on, just the diamond flask, which I only use for like 2 fights. So I should use them in more MC fights, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. Sometimes you go pull early. Like I had to tank Shazrath in my healing gear because someone pulled early. That was kind of painful. So, got this Reaver Warlock pull, same as kind of that earlier pull on the ramp. Gonna get the Warlock here, intercept him. Aggro and everything. I also have to be really wary about when I use Whirlwind, if it actually hits the other mobs. So the dodge from the Warlock there, so I threw another Sunder on him. Should have enough aggro on the Reaper. Maybe throw a Cleave in there. Getting pretty close to the end here. There is 1, 2, 4, 5 more pulls. Alright, so we have our last double Reaver pull. All these pulls so far are always the same mobs every time. No variety. There's a little bit of variety in one of the later pulls. Ooh, popped in us there. That was a lot of burst. I almost. A lot of focus killing some of these packs sometimes. I'm surprised the druid hasn't pulled aggro. Come on, I gotta kill one. This is okay. That should be a lot easier. My Sunder is also about to wear off. Like you saw 580 to 200s. That's quite a big difference between the Sunder. Wasn't leaning too hard enough on my hots there, so I got kind of caught off guard by that burst. So this is the locked door. The Gordok inner door key only drops from the guards, but you don't want to kill, so you have to figure out a way to send heavy, large seafoam charge there to open the store. Warriors and engineer. Now, this is absolutely the hardest pull in this place, at least for my setup, for my group. So I actually swapped a lot of mitigation gear, HP gear, just to, because this is 3 mobs. This is a Warlock, 2 Reavers, and obviously the Doomguard pet. Okay, I'm going to start by hotting my warrior up.
I need to get closer.
Pummel, yep. We have to make sure to get aggro on everything. I also want to pour this Warlock back. So right now I am almost just spamming heal on my druid because I know how bursty these 3 mobs can be. And on top of that, I could be healing through MS. So I always have to be very wary until I get the first ogre down. Get the ogre down. I think I'm in the home stretch for this pull. I've died to this pull so many times. It is such a pain. And the run back to this spot is so long. Like, if my warrior dies, I can usually get the druid to a safe spot and bug these mobs out and res the warrior, retry again, but res only has a 30-minute cooldown. So if I wipe again, I have to run back. And the very first time I did this this run, I think I died to this pull 7 times. It was brutal. I'm pretty sure because of all the repair bills from that. Like, I think my warrior was, well, I didn't have the Drake Fang Talisman at that point, but for the most part, the rest of his gear, or her, I guess it was a her, was not that much different from what it is now. I'm gonna swap back to a lot more of my DPS gear. Alright, Ogre Suit, talk to this guy. He goes, I could probably kill him, honestly, since he doesn't actually provide a buff, but I haven't tried, I haven't cared to. The mats for that Ogre Suit are really easy, so. Now this pull, and technically this pull, are like some of the only pulls in here that can be different, or at least the ones I pull that can be different. Sometimes this is a Reaver and a Captain, or sometimes 2 Reavers. You know, but we have 2 Captains, they don't MS, they just demo shout. And I realize I hadn't swapped the Berserker. But these Captains are they're so easy, honestly. Compared to those Warlocks and the Reavers. This is like, especially after that 3 pull right there. This is such a like easy breather pull. Honestly, a lot of times I forget to swap out all that HP and mitigation gear. And I was like, but Demo Shout is really all they do. And oh, they have Dark Strike, which deals shadow damage, but isn't Mortal Strike, so who cares? I think they have a cleave as well, but because I'm never keeping the druid in range. Because I think the reavers have a pummel ability. If anyone's casting, they'll pummel. And I'm not positive if the captains have that or not, but I haven't even pressed it, so. Okay, we have a 6-pack of hyena bull, or mastiff bull. Yeah, one thing I've also run into running these two characters, I've died to this bull once. Looked at the logs and I realized the druid, the queued up heal I had, healed the druid instead of the warrior. So that's something. Even though I've been playing these characters and doing these farms so often, I still screw up sometimes. One more pull after this. There is a roaming 3-pack of these mastiffs that roam a large. They roam from like here to all the way behind the king, which is probably where they are now. So I'm gonna wait before. I could probably kill them and the king at the same time, but I don't want to, do that. So I'm gonna read thorns here. I'm not sure if I had thorns for that last pack or not, but did I have thorns? Yeah, I had thorns. Yeah, that 3 pull. Like before, I think I had full tier 2 and that rejuve gem. Like I would have to innervate that pull usually on the druid to get through it, because she'd just be spamming like max rank healing touch while keeping up like regrowth, and sometimes I'd keep up rejuve. So this is the last pull before king. I am going to. See if anyone with guild gets a buff. Sometimes I'll have a couple of guildies come and get the buff, but I could sell the buff, I just don't choose not to. One, I'm getting these buffs for raid, which is Thursday today, and guild raids MC today on Thursdays. So one thing I do for the king pull is I'll park the druid up there. Run around a little bit, or I'll pull the king, start attacking the king, and he has this observer, which is a caster, and eventually, or pretty quickly, the druid will get pull healing aggro because I'll have the warrior not touch him at all, and then he will take this entire time to go up through here and take a long time to get to where the druid is to start casting, and then drop down the druid, and then he'll run back all the way around. So I think it's a similar way to how hunters solo this between pets and all that. I could technically kill him, but I think it's just easier to do it this way. And I think you get like 1 extra loot in the tribute chest if you don't kill him. Alright, so let's see. Right. Bow him back. Back here. There we go. Druid trying to pull the aggro with their healing. Ooh, yeah. One thing King does is he war stomps. And MSs. Look at kind of big over Sunders, MSs, does that charge. A Reaver with a couple more abilities, more health. But it is only one mob, so it's not. Okay, he caught up where Druid is, dropped her down. I'm gonna pop Death Wish. I want to kill him before he comes back down. Usually can do it. Oh, big execute crit there. Yep. I've wiped to the king once, and it was rough. But for ooh, all right. 51 healing. This is a lot of healing for the warrior diamond flask set. So I will loot this. The funny part is I think I've gotten this gauntlet a few times without thinking about that, and just, you know, deed it. Because, you know, we don't need vendors for, you know, gold 80. Large brilliant shards go for about 3 gold to 3.5 gold. So, you know, Druid's a enchanter, so. Alright, and that is the tribute run. Get our buff, get the tribute chest. A little, well, yeah, we'll check it out in the words so you can see on the video. Oh, double healing pots. These pots can either be a healing pot or a mana pot. Sometimes it'll usually be a healing pot and a mana pot. Sometimes it's either it can either be healing or healing mana or mana. The mana pots are like way more expensive comparatively, and you know, like use for the druid. So that's unfortunate. Redoubt cloak, arcane resistance, worthless. Yeah, 3 large brilliant shards I see right there, and some illusion dust, and maybe some greater eternal essences. So loot this on the druid. Check and see what it gets. There's definitely some good items from this chest, but one, I either have them, like I have the unyielding maw on the druid already, which is a feral tanking maw or item. The are the 15 agility 1 hit rings, which are, you know, still pretty good if you're leveling up, or even if you're like just getting into the raiding scene. Really good hit rings for rogues, even warriors, hunters as well. Even though hunters don't have an issue getting the hit cap compared to everyone else, especially warriors. But so that's the tribute run, and that was a chest right there, and the other spoils are the DM buffs. I'm gonna go get those real quick. This is an MC Unite, so I would usually equip this and go, you know, pop the Everlook, pop the Fellwood, get the Songflower buff, but not gonna do that tonight. The Songflower buff is like a cherry on top. Don't really need it, but I'm on a PvP server, so Alliance have been dispelling a lot lately. It's ramped up in the last month or so for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. So Got the healing gloves. That's pretty sweet. After I realized I should have gotten one of these, it's been like a month since I've seen it drop again, so that was kind of cool. Alright, so he gives 3 critical hit to spell for spells by 3%, which normally isn't great, but the funny thing is the proc on Thunder Fury can crit. And it actually, between this and Onyxia buff, actually procs a fair amount for tanking. It's 13 crit. It can proc normally, but because I have 19 intellect, I have like less than like a percent chance to crit on spells without those buffs. So you'll still notice it sometimes. All right, now finding the second guard can be tricky because his roam path is like there he is. Okay, go this way. I really wish when the captain came down, the guard would just be sitting and like, oh, you son of a bitch. Because, I mean, part of the quest line, when you get in the ogre suit and you talk to the captain, is you basically tell the captain that this guard is talking shit about him, basically. And the captain comes down here to confront him, so that's why he's down here. Gives a quest to kill the boss in DM West, which I don't think the rewards are anything good. You just, I think it's 6 or so gold or whatever to do that quest. If you vendor the item or DE it. So that's the last guard, the easiest guard to avoid. And oh yeah, that's the second buff is 200 attack power, which is really nice. It's apparently doesn't work for ranged attack power, which is really shitty for hunters. Feels bad, man. This buff is magic. 15% to your overall stamina. Oh baby. So right now, since I'm not getting the DM buffs, I'm hearthing out, and that was a DM tribute run. One between a warrior and a druid. Alright, thank you guys for, do all that, like, subscribe, share, I don't care. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take care, guys.